I have personally talked to contractors and home service business owners that have spent $4,000, $6,000, hell, even $10,000 or more on getting a website built for their business. And ultimately, it doesn't rank on Google or generate them any leads for their business. And what I end up telling them, it's not how pretty or how nice your website looks. It's how Google sees it that actually counts. So I'm going to break down exactly what needs to be on a contractor or home service website in order to gain Google's trust and position your business in front of the people looking for what you have and start generating leads for your business. What up there, guys? Izzy here once again with Get Busy LLC, helping contractors, home service business owners, and local businesses to get online and get their business found to generate more leads for their business. In this video, I want to talk about website design and the number of contractors that I run into that have paid thousands and thousands of dollars for website designs that do absolutely nothing for their business. Maybe they look good, the websites are pretty, but ultimately they don't do what your website should be doing, and that's to generate a lead for your business and preferably multiple leads for your business. And I could certainly understand why that happens. A lot of contractors and home service pros are out there doing their craft, doing their own thing, and they just want something built out. And there's so many digital marketing agencies out there, website designers that promise these guys the world. If you do this, if you do that, you're going to do very, very well online, generate more leads. And I also see some guys that think that the more they pay, the better results they're going to be. In a way, I kind of think about it like my personal car. To get to my office here, it's about 3.5 miles, something to that extent. I drive a 2012 Honda Civic to my office here. Like I said, it's 3.5 miles from my house to my office, and that's basically all I need. Ultimately, all I need that car for is to get my ass from my house to my office. And then when I go to my office to pick up some groceries and things like that and go straight home, that's all I need it for. I don't need a $75,000 BMW to do the exact same thing that I need it just to get from point A to point B and from point B back to point A. That's all I need it for. And ultimately, that's what a website should be too. You don't need to spend, four, six, seven, $10,000. I talked to a guy who spent over 20 grand for a website, and I took a look at his website, and I was absolutely floored because it was so basic, it was so cookie cutter, and I was shocked. And when I talked to the guy, he said that he figured he spent that much money, it was going to pay off. Again, it goes back to $75,000 Beamer just to get my ass to my office when my Honda Civic works just fine. And that's what ultimately your website should do. It should be focused on generating leads for your business. Nothing else, really. Especially these days, people aren't even going on websites all that much anymore. They're going to the Google Business Profile. And this is why I tell contractors you should focus more on what Google's looking for on a website and build up the trust with the search engine to push that website higher up on the search results. But more importantly, that Google Business Profile that you end up connecting to. So here are the 5 things that you need to add onto your pages of your website in order to rank higher. Now, you could pay somebody $10,000 for your website because you want it to look pretty, but it still has to have these 5 things. You could pay somebody $100 for the website. It's probably going to be a crappy website, but they still have to have these 5 things. These are the 5 things that Google's looking for in order to understand what it is you're trying to get found for, what service you provide, and push your listing towards the top. It's kind of like the car, right? You need 4 wheels, engine, transmission. You're good to go. Doesn't matter what the car looks like. As long as the damn thing goes and gets my ass from my house to my office, I don't care. The cheaper option for me, the better. And how I've learned this is from building websites back in the day when I used to rank and rent websites to generate leads for certain home services. And back then I used to build my websites with Weebly, the most cheesiest, crappiest website builder. But as long as I followed the rules, my websites ended up ranking on the search results. So let me give you those 5 things you need to put on your website to make sure it does its job and rank well on Google and generate leads for your business. So let me show you guys some of the examples. So here's the 5 essential things you should have on your website, more specifically on each and every single page of your website. I'll go into deeper structure of a website in another video, but this is just the absolute basics of what you should have on your website. And again, it doesn't matter if your website's pretty, it looks great, it looks glamorous, it doesn't matter. As long as you have these 5 things, this is what the Google crawlers and algorithm is looking for on the page in order to get yourself found in the place that you want to get found for the service you provide. So here's the first thing you need to have on your website, and I'll go into a little bit more detail on all of these here so you could kind of understand all of it. First of all, you have to have your title tag on your website on every page match the service and the location you want to get found for. I always refer back to a files in a filing cabinet, the folders in a filing cabinet. When you open up a drawer in a filing cabinet and you look at the tabs, each one of those tabs tells you what's inside that folder. Each page on your website should do the same. It should say what your title tag, say you're a carpet cleaning service in Fresno, California, this should be in that title. So when Google crawls that website, all those pages, it knows what's inside that page of that website. You'll be shocked at the number of websites I see that people spend thousands and thousands of dollars for don't even have the most basic thing like this done correctly. The next thing is the meta description. Now, the meta description is kind of like a brief description of what's about to be in on that page. This is the type of stuff you see when you do a search. You're going to see the title tag, you're going to see the meta description of a particular page on the search results. You got to make sure that meta description also has that service you provide and in that location. Next thing your page should have is something called the H1 title tag. Especially, I always tell people, like the title of your book report when you turn it into your teacher. That title of your book report tells your teacher what that book report's all about. The same thing when your website. As soon as that first page of the website comes up, it should tell Google and your customer exactly what you do and where you provide that service. And then you have the H2 title tags that support that main service that you do. So for example, if you're a tree service company in Fresno, California, you do tree trimming, you do tree removals, tree maintenance, stump removal. Those are examples of H2s to support the main service, which is tree services. And then, of course, the content of the website. You should be writing about the service you provide in your local market. And when I first started to learn this stuff, people said you needed 2,500 words, 2,000 words. I've found that 1,000, 1,500 words is good enough. Now, all of these things need to be on your website in order to get it ranking on Google. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you spent $10,000 on your website. If these little 5 things are not on each one of your pages, you're pretty much screwed. That thing's going to be sitting on the ether of the internet, not doing jack shit for your business. So let me show you this properly executed with just a crappy little Wix website that I built a long time ago for a contractor that's generating leads, getting his business out there for the exact service he provides in his local market. And it's done really, really easy. So here's the crappy little website I built on Wix for this guy a long, long time ago. And you're going to see it's just very, very dull, very, very bland. I don't even remember how much I charged. Back then, I didn't charge people hardly anything. But let's just say he's just paying, $100, $200 a year for this website from Wix. I compared this to my Honda Civic, 2012 Honda Civic. It's doing its job. It's just getting me to here. It's doing its job. It's getting him phone calls. But you're going to see his title tag is set up correctly. Right? Here's his website's ranking here, right? It says Asphalt Paving Prescott Valley. That's the service he provides and the location he provides that service for. And this is why his website's showing up right here. And this is the meta description I was telling you guys about, a brief description of what's going to be on the page. It says Asphalt Paving Prescott Valley in the meta description. And then when you look for the H1 title tag, it says Asphalt Paving Prescott Valley. These are H2 title tags. These are H2 title tags, really small. Recycled asphalt, hot mix, asphalt seal coating, cheap seal paving, parking lots, asphalt driveways, that sort of thing. That's it. And his website's maybe like 5 pages, 4 pages. Not very much competition when it comes to asphalt paving. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe this website's got a total of 10 pages, but every one of those pages is SEO optimized with those 5 essential things that Google's looking for, the search engine's looking for, which ultimately is what your customers are looking for anyways. So when you do like local searches, like paving company Prescott Valley, you're going to see he's not showing up in the map listings, but he's still showing up here at the top. And I bet you he's pretty close to the top there. Yeah, he's number 4 on that map listing here. So let's look at Asphalt Paving Prescott Valley. There's his business right there. And there's his website right there. Remember, the website's connected to his listing. So all this information is getting fed into that listing here. Let's say driveway paving company, Prescott Valley. You're going to see there's this business listing right there, and his website's ranking right there. And just to prove my point even further, I built a website years and years ago. I just still have it sitting up on randomly in a town called Salinas, California. There's about 100,000 people there. If you type in junk removal Salinas, wait, I never made it a business profile or anything like that. It's a rank and rent type of website. You see the first website you see right here, junk removal Salinas, right? And it's a crappy, just a shitty ass Weebly website. And all I did was follow those exact same rules. It's a different design, just like a car. Still got the engine, transmission, 4 wheels, brakes, car's a car, right? When it's all said and done. The first thing you'll see is back then when I was barely learning this stuff, I put in the keyword junk removal Salinas in the title tag, and you'll see it also in the meta description right here, junk removal Salinas. How about that, right? And then you click on the website. What do I have here? This is the H1 title tag of the website. Here are some H2s. Let's see. These are like H2s right here. Like I said, I didn't know what the hell I was doing back then. H2s, um, H2s. That's it. This is only a 3-page website. Is it a home page, about page, contact page? That's it. That's all I built on it. I didn't know what the hell I was doing back then. But you see, that's the H1 title tag. And then, of course, I wrote the content of the website about junk removal services in Salinas, California. And this website's there, sitting there, number one on the search results. Hell, I don't even know if the phone number doesn't work. I don't know if it's getting leads. I don't really care. I just leave it up there as an example to show people that those 5 essential things you need on a website page in order to rank well. Now imagine doing this on every single page of your website. That's exactly how you should be building out your website. And it doesn't matter if it costs you $1,000 or $10,000. If these things are not in there, your website, it's like a car with no gasoline in it. What's the point? So there you go. If you're out there trying to get online and trying to get a website built, it's totally preference. If you want to spend $5,000, go for it. If you want to spend 10,000, more power to you. Whatever you want to do. If it looks pretty, that's great. But if it's got to have those essentials. So whoever you hire, make sure they are adding the basics. I call those the basics of SEO, the 5 essential things you need on every page in order for that thing to rank well and Google to crawl it correctly. But you can also see you can get away with building just a little crappy website on Weebly, on WordPress, on Wix, or anything like that. And that's exactly what I show people how to do on their own if they're looking to do something like that. I created a training that helps contractors and home services that have been around for a little while and just barely starting to jump in online, understand the importance of it. And for those that are just starting out, contractors, home service pros, things like that, that have just starting out and realize that they have to get their business found online to start generating some leads that way. I show people exact tutorials on how to build their website completely on their own with templates, pre-formatted, set up, service pages, about pages, location pages, everything set up, ready to go. I have some set up on WordPress, and you can host those on Hostinger, GoDaddy, wherever you want, or even up a real basic one on Wix that does essentially the same thing. It gives you a huge head start in order to build one of these websites yourself. And also, if you don't want to deal with any of that crap, I also provide that service of building the websites for you, providing a search engine optimization service to rank those things even higher, manage your Google business profile, all that stuff to ultimately get your business out in front of the people already looking for the service you provide in your local market. And part of the reason that I do this is, even though I ran my own digital marketing agency, SEO service, website design services, I ran into more and more and more contractors and home service businesses that were basically just getting hosed and ripped off by other SEO agencies that promise them the world, promises this. They just figured I paid $10,000 for a website, $6,000 for a website. I'm going to get a good one. And ultimately, they just get ripped off. And as a matter of fact, I created a video here to find out if your SEO agency or digital marketing agency is ripping you off. You can check out that video right here. And that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time.